And I want to come back to this thing of what we were talking about in terms of racism in your classes. When your students showed signs of racism, even though in 1978 the fact is the prophet of the Mormon Church said we're no longer going to keep blacks from going into the priesthood, so therefore they can go into the celestial heaven, they can progress to godhood, okay? Mm-hmm. They can have all of those ceremonies. Even though that was true, you still have these verses in Mormon scripture that say blacks are cursed. And so you have two revelations here. And you're saying that some of this creeped up in your classes. How so?
It crept up in my classes, and I couldn't seem to refute it because students realized it was connected with the scriptures. And this is kind of the way Mormons think. Reasoning is the thing to do in every other realm except for faith. So when it comes to faith, if it's tied to scripture, it has to be true, and the debate is over. So I had a really hard time kind of opening the minds of my students to the ideas that all skin colors might have some value and be equitable. This was just what God used, I think, to get me into the Bible and to get me into the scriptures to start reasoning these things out. I actually decided I'd go to the Book of Mormon first because it was the most correct book on earth. I wanted to know the truth, so I decided I trust Christ. I'm going to go right to the Book of Mormon and find Christ's own words. I realized the whole Book of Mormon, God only visits supposedly in one little section, and what I was reading was an exact copy of the Beatitudes out of Matthew, and I knew that.
When you say exact, you mean exact?
Yes.
Word for word.
There are a number of places in the Book of Mormon where it's plagiarized directly from the Bible. 18 chapters right out of Isaiah in the Book of Mormon. So,
in King James language too.
Yes, which is something we'll talk about eventually. But I then had to go to the Bible to hear the direct words of Christ. When I went to the Bible and started reading Christ's own words, I was stunned to find that Christ himself was anti-Mormon doctrine in a number of cases. And I kept reading, decided I only trusted Christ, and he was in the Bible, therefore I only trusted his words in the Bible. Eventually I got so that I could trust his disciples' words in the Bible. But what I found was biblical doctrine is not Mormon doctrine. And I literally came to a point where I had to make a decision. Did I trust Christ in the Bible, or did I trust the Mormon hierarchy?
Yeah, for God is no respecter of person,
Yes.
Okay? And that's biblical theology, and you didn't have that in the Book of Mormon.